My name is Adaku, and I'm a young girl. Mermaid Mother warned me never to dive too far, but I can't keep floating in the same waters endlessly. My older sibling used to swim wherever and any time she liked, but I never understood why I was restricted. Well, I glanced left, right, above, and below. No one was watching. Let me explore beyond this space and find out what's happening nearby. I thought I glided and drifted till I moved far away from home and couldn't locate my path home anymore. I sobbed and sobbed, shouted for my sister, my buddies, and my mother, but no one replied. I even hummed our beloved melody, but none joined the tune. I noticed a human leaning down, scooping liquid. I stayed behind a plant, but a current swept me, and I ended up inside the calabash she was using to draw water, then into her container. Unaware, she raised the jar and then placed it on her head once she was finished gathering. I was still stuck in the container, quite terrified. After a moment, she put down the jar and then placed it and began talking in a dialect I couldn't grasp. Eventually, a young child arrived and began splashing the liquid using both hands. His mother shouted at him. I wasn't sure what she said to him, but once she yelled again, he walked off and then came back in a few moments with a small vessel in his hand. He scooped the cup into the jar and pulled out a portion, but I trailed the splash he scooped. Once he noticed me inside the bowl, he jerked it abruptly, and then I hit the floor thudding. He almost bolted in fear, but he braved it and came nearer, lifted me with both hands, and was staring directly at me. "Drop me in water, you idiot!" I shouted at him. He shrieked and tossed me aside, came back after a moment, and held me gently in his palms. "You speak?" He wondered, shocked. "Whoa, English." I questioned him too. "Yes," he said, but a lady spoke in words I couldn't decode. I told him, "Well, that's my mom, and she used our traditional speech." "All right, so could you return me to water now?" I requested softly. "If I place you back in that jar, my mother might panic and harm you or act rashly." "Okay, just wait here," he said. He set me down and then walked off and returned with a clear jar full of water he picked me up again and placed me inside it. That's all he said, smiling. "Whoa, thanks," I told him, him spying through the glass. "Meanwhile, my name is Adaku." "I'm Justice. What brings you here?" he inquired. "Well, I got lost on my way. My mom warned me never to dive beyond my zone, but I chose to wander off and couldn't trace my way back and somehow landed in your mom's pot of water. Kindly, can you assist me home? My sister's marriage is in 2 days and I must return soon. Don't stress. Just place me into the stream. My father likely launched a rescue squad by this time, so once I dive in and sing our melody, I'm sure my clan will hear me." It's not that simple," he muttered, scratching his hair. "Why?" I asked. "See, kids aren't permitted near this stream. The elders claim mermaids snatch them away and they're never reunited with their loved ones." He answered, "That's false, pure myth. We don't abduct humans, and truthfully, we mean no harm. Please help me. I assure you, nothing bad will happen to you. Okay? Fine. I'll try. I heard mermaids grant wishes. If I assist, help you return home, what can you offer in exchange?" he asked with a grin. "I'll grant you whatever you ask." "Okay. I hope to journey to the white man's world. Me. My mom and brothers, can you fulfill that?" He questioned again. "All right, I swear I will," I told him. "Justice." "Justice? What's in your hand?" His mother walked in, asking arms at her waist. It's a water container," he responded. "Throw it away or hide it and join me in the kitchen," she told him, tying the cloth on her gown around her waist after she exited. He rushed into a room and hid me under a cushion. "This is my siblings and my space, and this is my cushion," he said, patting it kindly. "Wait till I return from the kitchen. Then I'll help you reach home," he said, smiling. Smiling, he went off, and soon a tiny girl lifted the cushion slowly and stared at me with wide eyes and her mouth agi-go. Then she yelled all at once, "Sarah, Sarah," she shouted. "Oh, who's Sarah?" I wondered silently in the bottle, my eyes widened and my face filled with fear. "Sarah, Sarah," she called again. When Justice rushed in, grabbed the container, and hid it behind him. Then a bigger girl entered. "What is it?" "Kara, why were you yelling my name like that?" The older girl inquired, gazing at the little girl. Yet the young girl remained speechless. She merely stood there, directing her finger at Justice. "What happened to her? Justice, and what are you concealing?" Sarah questioned. "Nothing." Justice responded while edging out of the space. Once he reached the doorway, he bolted. He was keeping something. Justice had something tucked behind him. Little Kara finally muttered, like what Sarah questioned a mermaid. "I noticed a mermaid, trapped inside a bottle beneath Justice's cushion," said Kara. "What?" Sarah walked toward the bed and tried to lift the pillow. He already removed it. Kara stated, "Maybe it wasn't a mermaid you spotted. Perhaps it was something else." "Something else," Sarah muttered while exiting the room. "I figured nobody would believe me, but I swear I saw a mermaid." Kara murmured to herself that evening during supper. Sarah, Justice, and Kara kept exchanging glances all through, then around midnight, when all were asleep. Justice retrieved the bottle and said to me, "Hey, don't worry. I promise I'll return you to the river by morning." "But are you starving?" "I saved a bit of bread." He uncapped the bottle and slipped a small portion inside. "Who's Sarah and the tiny girl?" I questioned. "Sarah's my older sister, and Kara's the younger one," he answered. But before he could speak again, Sarah stood. "And who were you chatting with?" she questioned. Justice mumbled, scratching his scalp. Sarah moved closer and snatched the bottle from him. "What, you caught a mermaid in here?" Sarah questioned. "No, I didn't. I planned to help her return," he answered. "You've lost it, right?" She pressed again. "No, I'm not joking. I found her in the pot Mom brought from the river this noon. She needs to go back. Her sister's ceremony is soon." Justice said, trying to persuade Sarah. "And who shared that with you?" Sarah asked Adaku the mermaid. "She actually speaks." Justice answered Sarah, gazing at me. "Hey, I'm Adaku." I greeted Sarah, tossed the bottle upward, and ducked behind Justice, frightened, but he caught it. "Don't be afraid, Adaku won't harm anyone." Justice assured. He added, "Listen, Sarah, Mom can't find out, okay?" I swore to help Adaku return home, and she in return vowed to grant my wish. Sarah stepped out from hiding. "Grant your wish." "What is it?" Sarah asked curiously, leaving for the white man's land. Justice answered, beaming with joy. Then Sarah snatched the bottle from Justice once more. "What of me can you grant my desire?" Sarah questioned. "All right," I responded. "I want pearls, handbags, glass shoes, earrings, fancy dresses," Sarah listed with excitement. But I interrupted. "Listen, I can only make one wish come true. I'm just a small mermaid." "All right then. I'll go with the glass shoes." She turned toward Justice. "I swear I won't tell Mom anything," Sarah promised. Then they went to bed. While Justice placed the bottle beside him early the next daybreak, Sarah woke Justice up and they headed toward the river. But along the way, an elderly woman appeared. "And where are you heading, kids? Don't you realize children must not walk this trail that leads to the river?" she demanded. Justice mumbled, "Now, turn around and go back the way you came." She barked, "Justice," and Sarah dashed away as swiftly as their legs allowed. Then Sarah pulled Justice into hiding behind a tree until the high woman moved on, unaware. Then they resumed their path to the river once more. As soon as they arrived, merman guards had gathered searching for me. Justice unsealed the bottle and emptied me into the water. I rushed to embrace the soldiers, and they welcomed me with joy. Then the merfolk commander marched up and pointed his blade at Sarah and Justice. "Where did you take her, the two of you?" he questioned. No, they never took me. They rescued me," I answered. But the commander pulled out a vial of liquid and splashed it onto Justice. Sarah ducked and stepped back. Justice slowly dissolved into the river. I cried out. It was heart-wrenching seeing Sarah sprint away, shouting loudly, "You betrayed us?" I felt broken and wept bitterly. The liquid was gathered in a small container and wheeled away. He did nothing wrong. I sobbed, but nobody replied or gave heed. We returned home. My loved ones were thrilled to have me back, but I wore a heavy heart and looked miserable. Adaku, we feared for you. What happened? And why do you seem so down? Aren't you glad to be back home, my father asked. I exhaled. Dad, I am, but the boy taken by the commander was the one who saved me. He never meant to hurt anyone. What truly happened, my dear, my dad asked. I swam to the other neighborhood and could no longer find my way home. Then a human was fetching water by the river, and I fell into the bowl she was bailing water with, and then she unknowingly threw me into her pot. This boy that was arrested caught me and put me in water and then fed me till he brought me. Oh, what if something bad had happened to you? He needs to be dealt with. My dad roared in anger. Nothing must happen to him, please. I begged, then I swam to the commander's house. The drum was still before him with other soldiers around. He opened the drum slowly, and then the content poured out, and after a few seconds it transformed into a human. It was Justice. I ran to him. Justice, I called. He raised his head and looked. At me, you betrayed us, he managed to say. Get back. Adaku. The commander ordered. I saw my father and my mother coming from far away. Dad, Mom, please help, save this boy. Let him go back home to his people. I begged. He needs to be dealt with, my dad said. Again, while swimming forth, I left and then rushed home, and after a few minutes I returned with a bottle of Po-Sun. I made sure everyone was looking at me. I opened the bottle and then pointed it at my dad. You have few seconds to set this boy free, else I'm going to empty the content in this bottle in my stomach. I threatened. Adaku, please don't. My mom begged. Mom, step back, I yelled. Okay, Commander, set the boy free and let him go. My dad instructed. No, not just letting him go. I want him handsomely rewarded. I said, okay, you name whatever it is you want for him and it shall be done. My dad said, I want him adorned with gold and precious stones, with 2 big boxes full of gold and precious stones, and another big box full of gold necklaces, and bracelets, earrings, pearl necklaces, and glass heels, all for him. I said, okay, done, my dad said. Then he went back home and returned with all I had mentioned and handed it over to Justice. He also ordered the commander and few soldiers to accompany Justice to the riverside, where his people would find him, and I volunteered to go with them. Justice was adorned from head to toe, and we dropped him by the river. His people were already there wailing, but as soon as they saw him get out of the water, they attempted to run away, but paused for a moment. Is that you, Justice? His mom, who already looked exhausted, queried. It's me. Mom, he replied. Then his mom ran to him and hugged him. Then Sarah and Kara. Sarah, look. Adaku made them give us all these things, and the things you wished for are all in the 3rd luggage, Justice said, pointing at it. What? Wow, Sarah exclaimed in excitement, jumping into the river. Justice, I couldn't fulfill your wish of you traveling to the white man's land directly, but your mom can help you sell off all these and your dream may come to pass. I said, Justice, and his mom turned and looked at me. Thank you, they both said. Then I waved at them and the mermaids, and I left for home, so happy I saved Justice and fulfilled his wish. Many years later, a mermaid hurried to me and told me that a human was by the river screaming my name, a human I qued. I hurried after the mermaid, and we arrived at the spot. In no time, I saw the humans standing so tall, handsome and looking. Fresh Justice, I exclaimed. You guessed. Right. It's Justice. So good to see you again, he said, beaming with smiles. You look so good. Where and how have you been? I asked. Well, Adaku. My mom sold all you gave to me then. and we made fortunes from them, Mom. Contacted my uncle in the city, who helped us travel abroad. I arrived the village some few days ago to help some youths travel abroad for greener pasture. Thank you so much for changing my life. Justice said, "It's a pleasure, Justice, glad to hear. You doing well, the end." I hope you found the story enjoyable. If you did, be sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts on the lesson from this tale, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more captivating stories like this. Thank you.